Hello everyone, and welcome back to this English learning journey with me, Sarah. Today, we are going to focus on a very important and practical topic: English at the doctor's office. Visiting a doctor can sometimes feel stressful, but it can feel even more complicated when you need to explain your health problems in a language that is not your mother tongue. Many English learners have told me that they feel nervous when they need to speak with a doctor in English. They are afraid of not finding the right words, of not understanding the doctor's questions, or of missing something important about their health. That is why today's lesson is so useful. We will learn how to feel more confident and clear when speaking English at the doctor. Think about it. Health is one of the most important parts of our lives. If you feel sick, if you have pain, or if you need a checkup, you must be able to explain your symptoms. For example, imagine you are traveling in another country and suddenly you have a stomach ache. You go to the hospital or to a clinic and the doctor asks, "What's wrong?" or "How do you feel?" At that moment, you need to know how to describe your problem. You might say, "I have a stomach ache," or "I feel dizzy," or "I have a fever." These are simple sentences, but they are very important. The better you can explain your health in English, the faster and easier the doctor can help you. In today's video, we will explore English at the doctor step by step. I will give you useful words, phrases, and expressions that doctors and nurses often use. We will also look at how you, as a patient, can respond. I want you to feel ready for real-life situations. Our lesson will be divided into 3 main parts. In the first part, we will talk about how to describe your symptoms. This is the first and most important step when you visit a doctor. The doctor needs to know what is wrong, and you need to use the right words to explain. We will practice common vocabulary for pain, fever, cough, stomach problems, and more. In the second part, we will focus on the doctor's questions. Doctors usually ask specific questions to understand your condition better. For example, when did the pain start? How often do you feel this? Or, do you have any allergies? I will show you the most common questions and how you can answer them in simple English. In the third part, we will discuss understanding the doctor's advice and instructions. After you describe your problem, the doctor will tell you what to do. Maybe they will prescribe medicine. Maybe they will ask you to rest. Or maybe they will recommend some tests. You need to be able to understand their advice and follow the instructions. I will give you useful phrases for this stage too. Remember, our goal is not only to learn words, but also to practice speaking. That is why I will repeat sentences, and I encourage you to repeat after me. For example, if I say, "I have a headache," I want you to say the same sentence out loud. Practicing like this helps you remember the words and feel more confident when you really need them. This topic is also very important because health is something that touches every part of our lives. You never know when you will need to visit a doctor. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next month, maybe during a trip. If you prepare today, you will feel calm and ready when that moment comes. So, let's begin this lesson together. Take a notebook if you want to write new words. Listen carefully, repeat the sentences, and imagine yourself in a real doctor's office. By the end of this video, you will be ready to describe your symptoms, answer questions, and understand the doctor's instructions in English. Now let's start with part 1, describing your symptoms. Part 1, making an appointment and arriving at the doctor's office. Hello again, this is Sarah, and welcome to our lesson English at the Doctor. In this first part, we will focus on 2 very important moments: how to make an appointment and what to say when you arrive at the doctor's office. These situations may seem stressful, but if you know the right phrases and expressions, you will feel much more confident. 1. Making an appointment by phone. Most of the time before seeing a doctor, you need to call the clinic or hospital to book a time. Let's imagine a simple dialogue. Patient: "Hello, I would like to make an appointment with the doctor." Receptionist: "Of course, what is your name, please?" Patient: "My name is Anna Smith." Receptionist: Thank you, Ms. Smith. What is the reason for your visit? Patient, I have a bad cough and a headache. Receptionist, I see. The doctor is available on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Does that work for you? Patient, yes, that's perfect. Thank you very much. Receptionist, you're welcome. See you on Wednesday. This is a very typical conversation. Notice that the receptionist usually asks, "What is your name? What is the reason for your visit? When are you available?" And you, as the patient, need to answer politely and clearly. Some useful phrases for you. I would like to make an appointment. Can I see the doctor tomorrow? Is there an available time in the afternoon? Yes, that time works for me. Thank you for your help. 2. At the reception desk. Now, imagine you arrive at the doctor's office. Usually, the first person you talk to is the receptionist. Here is another example. Receptionist, good morning. Do you have an appointment? Patient, yes, my name is Anna Smith. I have an appointment at 10 a.m. Receptionist, great. Please have a seat. The doctor will see you soon. Patient, thank you. As you can see, the words are very simple, but the way you say them is important. Be polite, smile if possible, and speak slowly. Useful sentences. Good morning. I have an appointment with Dr. Brown. My appointment is at 2 p.m. Yes, my name is your name. Thank you. If you don't have an appointment, you can say, Hello, I don't have an appointment. Can I see the doctor today? Is there a walk-in consultation? Sometimes, the receptionist may ask you to fill in a form with your personal information, such as your name, phone number, address, and reason for visiting. Don't worry, just read carefully and write clearly. 3. Useful vocabulary for this stage. Let's go over some words you will often hear when booking or arriving. Appointment. Receptionist. Available time. Walk-in. Waiting room. Form. These are very basic, but very helpful. 4. Cultural tip. In many English-speaking countries, being on time is important. If your appointment is at 10 o'clock, try to arrive at 9:50 or 9:55. If you are late, you can call and say, Hello, I am running late. I will arrive in 10 minutes. This shows respect for the doctor and other patients. 5. Practice exercise. Now, let's practice together. Imagine you are calling to book a doctor's appointment. Say this out loud. Hello, I would like to make an appointment with the doctor. Yes, my name is Say your name. I am free tomorrow afternoon. Do you have any time available? Good job. By practicing these sentences, you will be more comfortable when the real situation comes. Wrap up of Part 1. In this first part, we learned how to make an appointment by phone, what to say when you arrive at the reception desk, some useful vocabulary like appointment, receptionist, waiting room, and form, a cultural tip about being on time. In the next part, we will go inside the doctor's office and see how to describe your symptoms and problems in English. Part 2. Talking about your symptoms. When you are at the doctor's office, one of the most important things is to explain your symptoms clearly. A symptom is how you feel when you are sick. For example, if you have a headache, if your throat is sore, or if you feel tired, these are symptoms. Many English learners find it difficult to explain their symptoms because sometimes they don't know the right words. In this part, we will practice the most common vocabulary and expressions you need when you are at the doctor. First, let's look at some useful words. Headache, pain in the head. Stomachache, pain in the stomach. Backache, pain in the back. Sore throat, pain or discomfort in the throat. Cough, when you push air out of your mouth with a sharp sound. Fever, when your body temperature is high. Cold, when you sneeze, cough, and have a runny nose. Flu, stronger than a cold with fever and body aches. Nausea, when you feel like you want to vomit. Dizzy, when the room feels like it is moving and you cannot balance. Now let's see how to use them in sentences. I have a headache. I feel sick. My stomach hurts. I have a sore throat. I have been coughing for 3 days. I feel dizzy. I have a fever. At the doctor's office, you can start by saying, "Doctor, I don't feel well. I have a pain in my chest. I have been sick since yesterday. I think I have the flu." The doctor may ask you, "Where does it hurt? How long have you felt this way? Do you have a fever? Are you taking any medicine? Have you had this problem before?" You can answer with short, clear sentences. For example, "My head hurts since yesterday. I have had a sore throat for 3 days. I don't have a fever. I am not taking medicine. This is the first time." Now let's imagine a small dialogue between a patient and a doctor. Patient: "Good morning, doctor. I don't feel well." Doctor: "Good morning. What seems to be the problem?" Patient: "I have a stomachache and I feel very tired." Doctor: "How long have you had this stomachache?" Patient: "Since last night." Doctor: "Do you have a fever?" Patient: "Yes, a little fever." Doctor: "Okay, I will check you." As you can see, the conversation is simple. You don't need long, difficult sentences. The important thing is to know the key words: headache, stomachache, sore throat, fever, cough. Sometimes you may not know the exact medical word, but you can still explain with simple sentences. For example, instead of saying, "I have nausea," you can say, "I feel like vomiting." Instead of saying, "I have fatigue," you can say, "I feel very tired." Instead of saying, "I feel dizzy," you can say, "I feel like the room is moving." Doctors understand that patients are not always experts in medical words. They will listen carefully and ask you more questions. The most important thing is to be clear and simple. Also, it is useful to know some expressions of intensity. A little: "I have a little headache." Very: "I am very tired." Really: "I feel really bad." So much: "My back hurts so much." These words help the doctor understand how strong your problem is. Let's practice a few sentences together. I have been coughing a lot. I feel very weak. I have had a sore throat since Monday. My back hurts so much I cannot sleep. When you explain your symptoms well, the doctor can give you the right advice and treatment. Don't be afraid to repeat or show with gestures if you don't know the word. For example, you can point to your head and say, "It hurts here." This part is very important because it gives you the vocabulary and expressions to describe how you feel. In the next part, we will talk about what usually happens after you explain your symptoms, the examination, and the doctor's advice. Part 3. Understanding explanations and next steps. When you visit a doctor, the consultation usually ends with some explanations and advice. This part is very important because it helps you understand what is happening with your health and what you need to do after the visit. Many English learners sometimes feel nervous here because the doctor may use medical vocabulary. But don't worry. You can learn simple phrases and questions to make sure you understand everything clearly. Imagine this situation. The doctor examines you, maybe checks your temperature, your blood pressure, or listens to your breathing with a stethoscope. After that, the doctor usually explains what they think about your condition. For example, the doctor might say, "You have a mild infection. It looks like a common cold. You need to rest for a few days." At this moment, your job is to listen carefully. But if you don't understand, it is very important to ask. A simple and polite way to ask is, "Could you please repeat that? What does that mean? Can you explain in simple words?" Doctors are used to patients asking questions, so don't feel shy. They will usually explain again in a simple way if you ask. Sometimes the doctor will give you medicine. This part can also be confusing because the doctor might explain when and how to take it. For example, take this pill twice a day after meals. Use this cream on your skin once a day before bedtime. Drink this syrup 3 times a day in the morning, afternoon, and evening. If you don't understand, you can ask, How many times should I take it? Should I take it before or after food? For how many days should I continue this medicine? It is always good to repeat the instruction back to the doctor to confirm. For example, you can say, "So I take this pill twice a day after meals, is that correct?" This shows the doctor that you are careful and want to follow the advice properly. Sometimes the doctor may tell you to do extra tests. For example, you need a blood test. I recommend an X-ray. Please go to the laboratory. These sentences mean you have to visit another room in the hospital or clinic. If you are not sure where to go, you can ask, "Where's the laboratory? How do I get to the X-ray department? Who should I talk to next?" At the end of the consultation, it is also common for the doctor to give advice about lifestyle. For example, drink more water, get enough sleep, avoid oily food, do regular exercise. You can answer with, "Thank you, doctor. I will follow your advice." This is a polite and respectful way to close the conversation. Let's practice a short dialogue to make it clearer. Doctor, you have a mild throat infection. I will give you some antibiotics. Take 1 pill twice a day after meals for 7 days. Patient, okay, twice a day after meals for 7 days. Is that correct? Doctor, yes, that's correct. Also, drink warm tea with honey. Patient, thank you, doctor. I will do that. This short example shows how important it is to repeat the instructions to be sure you understood. Finally, remember this. Communication is a two-way process. The doctor gives information, but you are responsible for asking questions and making sure you understand. Even if your English is not perfect, the most important thing is to be clear and polite. Doctors care about your health, so they will always try to help you. By learning these simple sentences and practicing them, you can feel more confident at the doctor's office. You will not only understand better, but also show the doctor that you are careful and responsible. We have now arrived at the end of our lesson about English at the doctor. We started with the basics of making an appointment, continued with explaining symptoms clearly, and finished with the doctor's advice and prescriptions. This journey gave us not only the words, but also the confidence to communicate in a real situation when visiting a doctor's office. Think about this for a moment. Many learners understand English in class, but when they are sick or nervous, the words simply disappear. That is normal. When we are under stress, our brain freezes. That is why practice is so important. By listening to these dialogues, repeating the sentences, and imagining yourself in the doctor's office, you are preparing your mind to stay calm and clear. The next time you need to see a doctor abroad, you will already have the words ready in your memory. Let's review quickly the key points you learned. Making an appointment, you practice saying simple but polite sentences like, "I would like to make an appointment. Do you have time tomorrow morning?" These phrases are short, clear, and useful. Explaining symptoms. You discovered words to describe common health problems such as headache, fever, stomachache, or cough. You also practiced longer sentences like, "I have had a sore throat for 3 days. I feel dizzy when I stand up." This helps you give the doctor clear information. Receiving advice and treatment. You saw examples of what a doctor might say, such as, "Take this medicine twice a day. Drink a lot of water and rest." And you practiced how to respond politely. "Thank you, I will follow your advice. Should I come back for another checkup?" When you combine these 3 stages, you can successfully complete a doctor's visit in English. This is a very practical skill because health is something that touches all of us. Now let me give you some tips to continue practicing. Tip 1. Role play with a partner. Ask a friend to play the doctor and you play the patient. Use the sentences from today's lesson. Change roles and repeat. This helps you remember faster. Tip 2. Write your own script. Take a notebook and write a small dialogue. For example, you, "Hello, I would like to see a doctor." Doctor, what seems to be the problem? You, I have a strong headache and I cannot sleep. Doctor, I see. I will give you some medicine. Writing will help your memory become stronger. Tip 3. Practice listening. Search for short videos or audios where people speak at the doctor's office. Even if you do not understand everything, try to recognize key words like pain, medicine, cough, appointment. Tip 4. Repeat daily. Do not wait until you are sick to practice. Just like sports, language needs training every day. 10 minutes of practice will prepare you for the real moment. Before we close, I want to remind you of something important. Learning English is not only about grammar or exams. It is about living your life more freely and with less stress. Imagine being in a foreign country, feeling unwell, but able to explain clearly to the doctor what is wrong. That is a real success. It gives you independence, safety, and confidence. So, my challenge for you is this. Today, write down 5 sentences about health problems you have experienced before. For example, I had a stomach ache after eating. Then try to say them aloud in English. This is your homework, and it will bring you one step closer to fluency. Finally, let's talk about the future. We are building a community of learners here. If you enjoyed this lesson and want to continue learning practical English for real life, then you know what to do. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss a new video. Like this video if you found it useful. Comment below with one sentence about a health situation you want to practice. I will read your comments and maybe use them in future lessons. Share this video with a friend who is also learning English. You can practice together and grow faster. Remember, every small step counts. By watching this video, you already made progress. Be proud of yourself. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to speak naturally, step by step. You will reach your goal of speaking English with confidence in every situation, including the doctor's office. Thank you so much for learning with me today. Take care of your health, practice your English, and I will see you in the next lesson.